What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, wait a minute, Nash, what the fuck? Didn't you just do a video already? Yes, I did. However, we just got the ban list. Yeah, you heard me right. We just got the ban list, and honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know what to expect with this ban list because when you look at YCS Bologna, you look at some of the some of the more bigger decks that were a part of that tournament of that event. Rescue Ace, not Fluffle, Melfi, Kashtira was still pretty is still pretty playable. Tearlament, Runic, all these different decks were so powerful in that event. I wouldn't be surprised if Konami actually hit those cards, hits some of the cards from those decks. But honestly, it's hard. It's kind of hard to say. But let's get straight into it. I don't really know what to expect, honestly. But let's just get to it, you guys. I am on YG organization. I figured I'd be on the ban list website, but for some reason the ban list website didn't really show it. So maybe Euro. I'm gonna have to let me hang on a sec. Hang on, let me try the EU. Let's try that. Let's try that. I guess not. I guess not. I don't know what's going on here. Let me try this. Try the. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I apologize if it's taking a while, but yeah. For some reason, the TCG list only shows the last ban list that we got. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna have to use YG organization. I'm just not even gonna bother. Alright, so let's take a look at the ban list. Honestly though, honestly, if there was one card that I would love to see come back off the list, I don't know. That's a bit of a hard one, but I would have to say, I guess, I guess maybe one of the other two Dragon Rulers. Maybe, I'm not so sure, but let's take a look. So, cards that are currently, they're now forbidden. They're banned. You can't use them. Oh, really? So Agito, the Ancient Sentinel, Kelbeck, the Ancient Vanguard, Mathmech Circular, and a Soul Two Tails of the Noble Knights. Okay, so Agito and Kelbeck, I kind of get. Kashtira is still was even at YCS Bologna was still dominating the meta up until I want to say the top 8, if I remember correctly from what I had seen on X. Those two I'm not surprised. Mathmech Circular, that's a bit of an interesting one because I think Circular has I think the Rhoda effect. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go on Nexus really quickly and look it up. So let's go deck, pick this one. Pick a random one. And then Mathmech Circular. Okay, what does the card do? Let's see here. Send one Mathmech except this card from your deck to your grave. Special summon this card from your hand. Can only attack with one monster for the rest of the turn. If a Mathmech monster is normal or special summon to your field while you control this monster except during the damage step, you can add one Mathmech spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so this is basically Cyber Dragon and Cyber Dragon, Spell Trap, Rhoda all rolled into one. Now, okay, so I kind of get why Konami did that. It's because of the fact that I believe the Mathmech deck already has like so many other monsters in the archetype that has Spell Trap, Rhoda effects, and those cards aren't as powerful as Circular. So that I can totally understand. Now, Assault on the other hand, that one Assault, I'm a bit torn by it because Assault, when you really think about it, Assault is just Rhoda. It's Rhoda, but it also has the effect where you banish equipped spells from your deck, you banish them and you summon a warrior with the same level as the amount of equipped cards that you summoned. Funny enough, I think this was where you were able to use the monster to go into your Link Karibo plays, and then just Link climb into IP Masquerena, and then just Link climb into an Underworld Goddess just right off the bat. So I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's a bit of a toss up. I don't really know what I really think about that, honestly. But I mean, Kelbeck, Agito, and Mathmech Circular, I can understand. Assault, not something that I agree with, honestly. But now we're going to get into the cards that are now limited, meaning you can only use one. So let's take a look. Okay. So first up, so right now, the first 6 cards I see Orcus Harpor, Redox Dragon Ruler of Boulders, Rescue A's Airlifter, Unchained Soul of Shavara, Sun Avalon Dryas, and Sunvine Healer. Okay, Harpor. Yeah, that's about it. So maybe we might go back into the TOS format come 2024. It's possible, but at this point right now, I think we're now at the point where Orcus is just like not even that playable anymore. Yes, there might be some players in the at a YCS that you might run into that plays Orcus, but let's be real, Orcus was dominant back in 2019. It was slightly okay in 2020, but once Harpor got hit in 2020, the deck just stopped. It was like, nope, I ain't gonna touch this deck anymore. Now, Redox, on the other hand, I'm telling you guys, next ban list or 2 ban lists later, Title is going to come back to the format, and I'm telling you guys, Dragon Rules is going to dominate the meta. I am saying it now. I'm putting my call in. Dragon Rulers are going to make a comeback. Is it possible that all 4 Dragon Rulers could go up to 3? Yes, it is very possible, but they would have to hit some of the key Xyz monsters that helped make Dragon Rulers the dominant the dominant deck of 2013, of 2014, when Dragon Rulers was still around at that time. So I mean, I'm not saying that Dragon Rulers are playable now. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that at some point down the road, maybe in the next ban list, or maybe 2 or 3 ban lists later, which will probably be like what, right around the end of this year, of not this year, the end of 2024. It's possible that we might see Dragon Rulers come back in 2025. Sorry guys, my light just, I don't know what happened. My light was just my light flickered. I apologize, you guys. That freaks me out. Disregard that, you guys. Disregard that. Now, moving on. Rescue Ace Airlifter. Not 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 gonna lie. Kind of expected that. Kind of expected Airlifter to be limited to 1, because I believe this is basically the This is the Rhoda. Yeah, This is basically the Stratos, if you will, for the entire deck. So I'm not too upset about it, but it's very possible that we could potentially see Rescue Ace completely done at this point. But it all depends on whether or not any of the other Rescue Ace cards get hit at some point down the road. The deck is still playable. Excuse me. But now players are going to have to rely on pretty much the rest of the archetype to try and make the deck as playable as it was when Airlifter was at 3. Now, Unchained Soul of Sharvara, I believe this is... Let me take a look. Sharvara. Let's see here. During the main phase, if this card is in your hands as a quick effect, target a fiend or a face down card you control will destroy it, and special summon this card. But while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except fiends. If this card is sent to the grave, set 1 unchained spell or trap directly from your deck. Yeah, this is basically the card that can help you set pretty much any unchained card to your back row, which I believe one of the main components that you want to set is, I believe, either Escape of the Unchained or Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Those are like the 2 main cards that you want to set. But still, I'm not too mad about that. I know that Distant Coder might be upset about it because Unchained, that's his thing. But honestly, Sharvara probably for the better, but we'll just have to see what happens over time. Now the Sun Avalon Sunvine archetype, there was like no point. I mean, yeah, sure, there might have been there might have been a couple of players at the previous like 2 or 3 white CSs that might have played Sun Avalon, but the deck is so gimmicky, you know. So I can't really say whether or not this was a good decision, but that's just how I see it. So now we gotta move on down a little bit, and I'm looking at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I'm telling you guys right now, the first 2 cards, they were once banned. Now they're at 1. Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, and fucking Snatch Steal. Yeah, you heard me right. Snatch Steal is now legal. I don't know what to say. I honestly don't. This is probably one of the most controversial picks I had ever seen. Now, don't get me wrong. Snatch Steal from way back in the day, back in the days of like Go format and Go format, Reaper Monarch format. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it was a pretty powerful card. Yes, it did become a very problematic card back in the day. There's no denying that whatsoever. But the fact that this card is now a 1 in 2023, 2024, the question becomes, is this going to help change the meta? The way I see it, no. And the reason being is because there are so many decks out there in the format that have the exact same effect minus the opponent gaining life points. Minus that, there are so many decks in the format that have the Snatch Steal effect. So why bring this back? This is I'm not into it. I don't think this is good. I get the Konami is trying to get cards taken back off the ban list, but even they know that there are players out there who will abuse certain cards to the point where those cards just end up getting banned. Dragon Rulers was one of the most problematic decks in the entire world in 2013, 2014. And by the time we got to 2015, Dragon Rulers was just done. They were done. They were just absolutely done. So Snatch Steal, I don't know. I want your guys' thoughts. I want your guys' honest opinion on Snatch Steal being taken off the ban list. Let me know down in the comments. But the last three are probably three of the most controversial of them all. Goes in Match, Rivalry of Warlords, and There Can Be Only One. You've got three powerful floodgates that have been taken off, that have now been limited to one. I don't really know if that's the right thing to do, but at the same time, you have decks in the format that only have at least one attribute or one type of monster. And honestly, I think this is okay, but who knows? But now we got to look at the cards that are now semi-limited, meaning they are at 2. Dino Wrestler Pankratops, Speedroid Terrortop, and Purely Sleepy Memory. Pankratops, I'm glad that Konami has finally realized that that Pankratops is not as much of a threat as they thought it would be, but it can still be a potential threat. Now, Terrortop on the other hand, we might see some pretty janky decks come back into the meta. And Sleepy Memory, I mean, it is what it is, but there's not much that they could say about Sleepy Memory. In fact, I think Sleepy Memory, that's the one that has the Snatch effect? What does this one do? Let's see. Next battle phase or effect damage you take this turn will become 0, and immediately apply the following effect. Discard a card, special summon a level 1 purely from your deck. A purely monster exceeds monster that has this card as material gains the following effect. Once returned during your opponent's standby phase, you can draw 1 card. Okay, funny enough, this is basically kind of like your Pot of Greed, if you will, where it's you draw 1 during your draw phase, and if you have an Exceeds monster that has Sleepy Memory as the material, it basically gives you a second draw during the standby phase. So in a way, it's a Pot of Greed. So honestly, I'm okay with that. Sleepy Memory at 2, I'm okay with it. Would have been better if it was banned because obviously you don't want to see your opponent gaining gaining any card advantage over from that card, but it is what it is. But now we gotta look at the cards that are no longer limited, and honestly, this is where I am terrified because at this point, there's really no telling what cards we could see. There is no telling. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that were once banned and have been limited to 1 for years. Now they're at 3. Think about this. Those cards are as followed. Infernity Archfiend. Mind Control. Spellbook of Judgment. Upstart Goblin. The rest of the cards are Cashier Unicorn, Pot of Desires, and Sprite Starter. Desires, Konami made the wrong call by putting it at 1. Unicorn, I'm not surprised, but Shangri-Era, I believe is at 1, and a Rise Heart is now banned. So the deck is still playable, but you need to have other cards to make it 100% playable. Sprite Starter, I'm not surprised. I think Starter was at 1 last time, so it is what it is. But the rest of the cards, Upstart Goblin. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Hardly anybody plays Upstart Goblin anymore, so I'm not surprised on that. Spellbook of Judgment is probably one of the nastiest cards in the entire Spellbook deck. It's very possible that Spellbook could make its way back into the meta. There is no denying that whatsoever. But we will have to see what happens. Mind Control. Bad move. I'm saying it now. Bad move on Konami's part. Bad move on their part because now people are gonna find ways to abuse it at the next YCS, which it'll get to the point where Konami will have to do an emergency ban list, and they'll have to ban literally Mind Control once again, or have it get limited to 1, which either way, Mind Control is now off the list. And Infernity Archfiend, this is another one that I'm terrified about because Infernities could make their way back into the meta. Very possible, but only time will tell. There's no telling what could happen next. I don't know what to say except holy shit, this ban list has become absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the next ban list they took off like something like Maxi or something like that. It's possible, but let's be real. I don't think Maxi is ever gonna come off the list. But if Konami does take out Title and put it to 1, all of the Dragon Rulers will be limited to 1, and Dragon Rulers will make their way back into the meta, and it's not going to be pretty. So, all I can say is get ready, because Dragon Rulers is coming. I'm telling you guys. Next ban list, or the next one after that, or the next one after that, it's going to happen. Title will be off the list. We already had Tempest. We've already had Blaster. Now we have Redox. There's one left, and it's Title. The baby rulers are completely legal at 3. Think about that, guys. But with that being said, But with that being said, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this ban list, and that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good shit. Follow me on my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It'll also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.